What is not selling? To me, that's a lot. But one of the main things that I see salespeople do that is not selling is focusing in on your product. Product-focused selling never works. We had a sales rep, and I'll never forget this story. We were going to pitch Krispy Kreme for a national ad campaign, and he was going to a buyer's desk. This guy spent hours because he wanted to get a picture draw something of Bill Clinton eating a Krispy Kreme at the time and getting the facial pigmentation right. He was so focused on the product, not once did he actually take the time to find out, well, what kind of client, what would probably be good questions to ask to kind of uncover. But he was so focused on what we had to offer that I don't believe that is selling. Other things that are not selling are pressuring. Pressuring people to give you an answer. Obviously, if I'm being sold something, just imagine you're buying a car. Car salesmen by nature, they start to pressure you. God forbid you go in, you just want to look at something and you're getting attacked by 15 people. How does everybody feel about that? You're being pressured. That's when people put up the guard and they don't buy. And then you start wondering why they're turning you off, or, the meeting went bad. Or even worse, you think the meeting went good and then it goes dark for however long time. I think that some of those mistakes and what is not selling is when you really go in and it's all about you. It's not about your client. And that's the number one mistake that I have seen throughout my career, from veterans who made a lot of money doing it that way to entry level who, had struggles launching their career. So what is not selling is pressure. What is not selling is talking fast. What is not selling is not listening. Problem is the number one trait. If you're talking more than your client, you're not selling, you're annoying. That's basically what it is. I mean, think about it. If you're in a conversation and you want to talk to somebody and they're talking over you, doing all the talking, and you have something to say, but they're continuing to talk, think of how you feel. Now think of how you feel when you're in a business environment and that person's trying to make a decision whether to buy your product or your service. So not listening is not selling. Also, to me, is fancy words, a big vocabulary is great. You can pass English class, go on in college. A lot of folks in this industry don't want big words. They don't want to sit there and have a word come out and be like, I don't know what that is, but I'm too embarrassed to ask what it means. I like to keep things Fisher Price. Big buttons, lots of loud colors, very easy to follow, and then also asking questions and making sure that the client understands what it is that you're communicating. It's not about a lot of talking. It's not about a lot of showboating and, a nice suit. Those things, to me are not as important. It's about listening and really understanding, not just hearing, but listening and understanding what the problem is that the client, why are you in that office? Why would this client be talking to you? Obviously, there could be a need. You could complete a sale, but if you're doing most of the talking, you're not doing any selling, and that's never going to happen. And salespeople sometimes just don't get that, and it takes a long time to kind of dial them back, because the extroverts are the ones who usually get into sales or think that they're the ones that should be in sales. And sometimes I've seen the top salespeople in very competitive environments be the introverts, the quiet one. And everybody's like, wow, that person's so quiet. I remember this girl, she was like quiet, didn't say you get a pin drop in her office. She was a top salesperson because she didn't talk. She listened, and then she responded and gave these people exactly what they wanted and made them feel like they were in charge of the process, not her. This was their meeting and not her meeting. So a big part of everything that you do in sales is with your ears.